It may have only been a couple of days, but I missed y'all. Hello, hello, welcome back to the stream. Getting back into the swing of things. Of course, had a little bit of an interesting end of the week last week. Kind of had to throw a wrench into the schedule, but we're back at it now. All is good. So we'll keep on going, keep on trucking here. We've got some more Illuvium action once again, all week actually, but starting things off here nice and easy. Well, I say nice and easy, but I expect that this is actually going to be much more difficult than it has in the past. Of course, one little announcement can absolutely swing this player base so violently, and something as simple as just getting EXP back into the arena seems to have brought in the majority, or not the majority of people, but it's brought in more people back lately. And what's the scary part about it is these players are actually good, and they have collections already. So, my time in the top 10 has ended. My time in the top 15, it might be pretty much done as well, but we're going to fight and try to get ourselves back up there, and that is going to be the goal here for today. Of course, anybody who wants to come play ranked, now is the time. By all means, feel free to stream snipe me all you want, because at the end of the day, just trying to have some fun, and I need to get better. I feel like I may have learned a lot of bad habits from playing against maybe one or two players in each lobby, and maybe getting a little bit too comfortable, to say the least. So I'm looking forward to the competition here today. And of course, we're going to be doing a back-to-back, and normally I do my stream on Monday, but we had an appointment kind of collide with it, so wasn't able to do that. Here on Tuesday, of course, and now tomorrow, we are going to do This Week in Illuvium once again. Going to have another new style show with the main point of it, or the main talking point, especially at the very end, is going to be the Risk to Earn document that was brought out on the Discord, where it was basically outlining the game design concept for the Risk to Earn style game, Illuvium Deathmatch, as I guess they've been kind of calling it in the Discord chat. I want to go over that and kind of give my first thoughts about it, my analysis on it. As somebody who's more so on the gaming side of, or just the gaming and the entertainment side of things, rather than an investor of sorts here, because I know, at least personally, I do love when there's a lot of risk involved with, I do love it when there's a lot of risk involved with the game. I played a ton of EVE Online. The entire game is literally risk. You can't go out into the space and mine a rock without worrying about your ship getting blown up. So I don't mind risk being in my games. What I cannot stand, however, is gambling and gotcha mechanics. Like, I did my time with, say, a Rise of Kingdoms, for example, where like there's heroes involved and you have to spin a wheel and basically play a slot machine to get the characters that you want. And if you don't get it, pay up, or you just don't play that composition. I hate that. I absolutely hate that kind of style a ton, and I know there is, like, see, the auto drone mechanic here in Illuvium. That one I'm not necessarily as, like, torn against, per se, because of one key difference. If I wanted to go straight out and buy an Illuvium, I can do that. So I kind of akin it the same to, say, like, a trading card. Like, say, a Pokemon card, for example. Like, I can go out and rip packs and maybe get lucky and find the card that I want. Or I can just go out secondhand and just buy that card outright. So the option is there. That I don't mind as much. But gotcha mechanics and gambling, I absolutely can't stand. So with that mindset, tomorrow I'll be going over the Risk to Earn game design document. The concept, of course, still early in development, of course, could very well change. But I want to give my first impressions on it. Here would be a fun way to wrap up our second This Week in Illuvium stream. But for today, of course, there was the big change with it being the arena experience returning to the game. And with that, leveling up has been so much easier. Just to level up the stuff that I'm using. Like, with this change, it basically makes it so that if you don't know what you want to level per se, you're at least going to find some sort of progression no matter what. You're going to be leveling something up. As long as you have an alluvial of that type, you will level it up, and that's perfectly fine. Of course, if you still want to power level your alluvials, the overworld is probably still best, especially if you can handle stage 3 runs. That is probably the fastest way to level. But overall, still a fantastic change. Of course, with there being this change to experience into the arena, I know there might be a couple of new players out there that might not necessarily know how to set their alluvials or how it works. So very quickly, I want to just show it off right in this main menu here for the arena ranked. There's the team planner, and then there's alluvial ownership right up in the top right-hand corner. When you click that, then all of the alluvials that you own will show up here on this screen. Not all of them will be here if you don't actually own it. So this is going out into the overworld, catching it yourself, or picking it up in the marketplace. If you happen to have done either of those, your alluvials will show up here. By default, the game will pick your top 2 highest level alluvials for each type. However, it doesn't take into consideration the TPI or your alluvial stats. So just because your alluvial might be a high level, for instance, like say this guy was like level 25 or something, his stats are garbage, and I might want something else to kind of fill that slot instead. So if you do want to end up going through manually, just end up clicking on, well, let's just try it here. Just end up, it'll be like this. Click on the box, find the alluvial that you want, select it, and you can do that for 2 alluvials of each type. It's pretty straightforward. It's a little bit of a tedious process, but this way you at least know you're getting your experience in on the alluvials that you want, and you're using your best alluvials. Don't trust just strictly by your level, because you might not be leveling up your best alluvials, and that would just end up wasting your time a little bit. But it's pretty straightforward nonetheless. Move a couple of these windows over, and then we'll get started with our first couple of ranked games for today. Of course, my rating-wise, I am the highest I've ever been. 2468 currently, and this puts me in 16th, right behind Nocturnal and Lars. If I'm lucky, might be able to catch them here today, but the thing is, there's been a lot of actual, like, strong players playing since the arena changes have come out, because you're actually getting progress on your team and leveling up your squad, and it's playing arena just for it doesn't feel like you're just playing arena just for the sake of playing arena anymore. It does have at least a small little thing that you can work towards. And at least so far, it seems like a relatively positively received change, with the exception of a couple of people. And I tell you what, I don't know what it is about the Illuvium Discord, but there is at least like 4 or 5 people that'll find a way to turn a massive negative out of any sort of quality of life change or any sort of change towards the game in the slightest, just on the pure basis that it might affect the value of their collections. And that just, I was this close to crashing out on somebody on the Discord yesterday. I refrained from doing so, but basically, like, they were so damn worried about the value of their collections. Like, wait, if you're giving people the ability to level up their guys in arena, like, pretty good, that's free. They could do it for free. There's going to be more level 60s. And my collection, my alluvials are going to end up going down in value. It's like, first off, just stop. Your collection means nothing if there's nobody playing the game. So, for the love of God, let other people catch up. It still takes a very, very long time. And I tell you what, if any tournaments come out right now, all of these people that do have these legendary collections, which I respect the hell out of, you've put in the grinds, and I absolutely love what you've created. You have first mover's advantage. You are in the prime position for any tournament, any eventual reward that ends up coming out through the arena is all yours as long as you can actually perform. So enjoy it when the time comes, because I swear to God, like, people will eventually catch up, but it's going to take a while. It's not like it's like this. It's not like a snap. It's still going to take people months to be able to get their teams up to level 60s. I can barely stay in the top 50 anymore. Yeah, it seems like it's pretty tough right now, Fox. Absolutely. On the Twitch side of things, hey Gear, how's it going? You blame me? Yep, fair enough. Good morning to you as well. Yeah, so I was definitely a little bit flustered at the thought of it, because at the end of the day, just this gives good progression. This lets you feel like every game actually matters a little bit. And for those alluvials that you do end up catching and essentially keeping as mainstays on your team, just being able to push them much closer to max level without needing to buy stage 3 overworld runs, or just buying overworld runs in general, is nice, but it will take a long time. And that's the goal, right? It's either you pay for convenience to speed things up a little bit, or you put in the time and effort, and you'll get there eventually, but it's going to be tough. Alright, see you soon, Fox. Good luck, have fun. Yeah, we'll have to see, because I believe they also did make a change as well. Don't confirm me on this, because I don't think, or don't take this as gospel, but I do believe they actually slowed down how long it takes for bots to also get into the game here as well, to fill in the spots. So yes, my queue times are a little bit longer, but the likelihood of me having 4 or 5 people at least in the game is much higher. So we got a much better competition up ahead of us in every single ranked game. We'll have to see how it goes here in just a moment. 7 out of 8. We're almost there. And there we go. Sure enough, there's Fox. And we'll have to see who else we have here. There is a chance it might just be Fox and I. Might have just hyped it all up and it's just Fox and me in the game. But we'll see once we get into the swing of things. Now that I actually know how to check whether it's a bot or not. I'm high. I've never smoked a day in my life. But based off of how I am sometimes, maybe you'd never be able to tell. And actually, okay, here we go. This is a 5-player lobby. Because what you can realize here is in the very first round, see how there's credits next to 5 players, but 3 of them don't have any credits? So those 3 players are the bots. But everybody else that has credits in this first round, see, now the credits are going to start showing up. But at least off the rip, you can tell who the bots are. It's okay, we have quite a few players here in this one. You include myself, it's a 5-player lobby. And it's a couple of faces that I do not recognize, so we could have some secret killers in here. Cannot sleep on this squad at all. Had a little bit of a rough weekend overall. I hope yours was better, I'll tell you that much. Couple of health scares, couple of hospital visits to kind of handle, but everybody is a-okay in the end, so all is good. I believe Dead Chat was one of the bots, I think. I could be wrong. Wasn't too bad. Good. Oh, nobody fell. I won't get onto it on stream and whatnot, but all is good in the end, is all I'll mention on that. Now, of the players that I have in my lobby here, the only one, again, that I'm familiar with, of course, is Fox Oracle. The last couple of times I've played Fox, they've been playing either Air or Shock. Oftentimes kind of centered around a gyro, if I remember correctly. I'm curious if it'll be much of the same. It sounds good, Gear. Sounds good. Okay, I've got two options that I like. Let's see what else everyone is doing. So we have one other Scion player currently, so it makes going for Earthgrass Scepter a little bit risky. Maybe we go for Tempest Lance. Let's give this a shot. We do find Kuka, which is a nice find, given the team that we have. And then in order to actually, like, if I were to say get Shock Aegis going on, I would need a Fire Empath, which is not possible in this game. So this won't be a turn for Shock. I'm not going to end up using Rai, I don't think. We could very well try Tempest Aegis. I have practiced that at least a little bit over the last week or so. The attack speed might be nice. Frost Aegis as well is a potential way that we can go. Maybe we bring in the Pangu. Let's see. What kind of damage do we get? The max percent health. We'll go for that for now. Spread this out a little bit. And potentially this is a way we can go to kind of start things off here. Moika, I believe, is an actual player, but the squad doesn't look quite leveled yet, so we'll be able to climb on through and beat them down here relatively simply in this first encounter. And here I am trying to turn everything into Shock and turning everything into Aegis. I mean, Shock Harbinger could be a potential here with the Fire Fleesh. I mean, there's also the Fury, of course, that I could do that with. Or, say, the Ace. Now, Togo, this is a team of actual owned Alluvials here, and you can see a couple of them around level 20 mark. So I'm going to actually pair my Ranger up with my Penguin to kind of escort the Penguin on their rogue journey here. Try it that way for now. This way, in theory, Slappin should be able to get through rather unscathed. Penguins, yes, exactly. They might be my enemy, but every once in a while, it's fun to give them a shot. So far, so good, but I imagine they're going to turn onto my Penguin in just a moment's time. I don't have an emergency button to keep them alive, and the Slappin's going after their tanks. Okay, Togo, going to take me down this time. In before I turn around for 1 minute and you died. Comment there from Gear. Optimally, I should switch that Doka out. Yeah, I don't have the, or I guess it's kind of purple in this instance here, but I don't have the purple emergency button or the sustain augment to truly keep my Penguin alive as of this moment. I need to switch that sometime soon. Let's bring Doka back out, or onto the bench, get myself another Bulwark. 3 Bulwarks now. Let's start recycling a couple of these augments. Let's see if I can get the one with the... it's not the one that I was looking for, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping that I would get the one where every single time you use your Omega, you get a boost of attack speed. That did not hit in the slightest, so a little unfortunate there. Now, Fox in this instance does have that Scion Lynx. I do kind of want to jump it if possible. They have the option to possibly move it. They're not going to, so my tank and my Penguin should be able to at least get on it for the first little bit. That is the main damage dealer, but it's not the only damage dealer, as we do see that Ace in the background. The Carpet Bomb did do a pretty decent job, and it's going to escape my Penguin, actually. Team might be able to turn. Nope, there you go. Just 1 HP and a dream there onto Fox's Ace, and that's all it needed to get the job done. Okay, this isn't the augment that I was hoping for, but it's probably the second best I could ask for. So we'll do that. We build up potentially another tank. And then what do I want here? Potentially Archie, of course, right? Start building our tank line, getting it a little bit stronger. Let's see if maybe I can find Archos and stay within 70. Not quite, but I now do have my entire tank line. As soon as I get Atlas in there. Okay, there we go. Now the Penguin's starting to deal some damage with the 2 augments, but I really do need either some sort of sustain or the emergency button, so I'm going to keep using the recycler here. Try and get a blue and a red to get the sustain augment eventually. This is going to take a lot of turns to do, so I'm definitely going to be missing out on a little bit of power, considering I have 2 components just not being used at all. But okay, there's the red one. Now we just got to get this yellow into a blue, if possible, and we'll be good. Okay, Boost Jake, I believe, is a bot, so I could be completely fine. There is Archos. Now I can start putting my extra credits into leveling. Let's take away our fella here. Get the Aegis online. Aegis Buff the Penguin will be the name of the game here. Giving a bunch of attack speed, damage, and defenses to my Penguin. You can see now this thing actually really starts to hurt. It does help that this is all a level 1 team, so we're just kind of shredding it. But it's an example of getting that Aegis buff online, even onto my baby Penguin, which I did make sure that I at least leveled up to 30. Just in case that off chance comes around where I do need something like this, where it can just kind of carry for me for a little bit before I inevitably find my other carries. Let's see what else everybody is using. In terms of polar bears, Toko does have the baby bear currently, which is of course one of the frost units potentially, and a baby penguin there for leg core as well. Gonna take a look and see what other options. I could go for water if I wanted to, but I think I'm just gonna leave it as is. Physical damage and attack range, that might help for a bit. Where's the disarm? There it is. I like the disarm personally. We've leveled up and I now have Axon here, so let's get all of my tanks here. That is going to be the 5 tank buff now. And my Archos just kind of pivots alongside my Penguin. We did not get the augment we wanted there. The yellow just came back and turned into a red, it looks like. The rest of these credits I'm going to push towards my level 7. Level 8 is where I'm going to start looking to maybe start build my carries. Probably level 8. If I feel threatened and need to really start moving quicker, maybe 7 is the option. But right now I'm still feeling okay. Here we go, we'll just crush Sam in that fight there. Okay, Scion Imprint isn't going to help me either way, regardless of which way I go. The Empath might be okay. Omega Power, no thank you. Refunding, no thank you. Tier 4. This would push me to go for Polar Bear more than anything. It is risky given that Togo looks like they're kind of going for it, so I think I'm just going to use the Empath one instead. And then there is the Ebb, so that is what I need in terms of getting the Frost Aegis side online. Now how about the emergency button? That's what I'm looking for. So now my Penguin has all the augments it essentially would want. But we actually have to start evolving this thing. So let's get it situated first and foremost. Hetty is here. Let's replace... Oh, no, this is water, isn't it? I kind of like having multiple water units currently. Okay, Moika coming up here. A couple of rogues as the carries, but they aren't necessarily leveled. Gonna protect my Archos a little bit here with the Ranger. Now, optimally, I think I would need this Polar Bear. Let's pick that one up. Let's put some levels in. Let's get Bear maybe even into the fight. Almost gave you an augment, but I was a little bit too slow. First set of credits into my level once again. Get to level 8 as soon as I can without dropping under 70 credits. And yeah, there we go. This team is looking quite nice as of right now. Moika looking like they're going to be one of the first ones out of here. Rogue Squad just kind of falling behind, it looks like. Reducing the attack speed, but stuns. Not necessarily. Let's not use that either. The blinking. Let's just do the blinds. I don't want to keep spending credits on it. Okay, there's our tank. Level 8 now. Let's get our Ebb in here. So this now allows us to have Frost Aegis. Buff up the Penguin and the Bear once we end up getting there. And Hetty, of course, is the other Aegis user currently in Illuvium. If I can get this thing all the way up to a Blotto, that's how you end up getting it. I don't think anybody has actually gone focusing in on it here, so we do have the option. Meanwhile, this team we're going up against, though, with Bindhole's hype here, absolutely tore through me. That is a start of a mud composition, and they do have, of course, that Exalted Monk here. Just absolutely doing work on me here. Definitely something to worry about as we keep on going here. Composites is what we end up getting. Could potentially give somebody else Aegis. Let's see how this ends up going, and we are in fact going to be able to do so. So if I take, say, my beefiest tank, or not even my beefiest tank, just my other damage dealer, do something like that just to boost Penguin a little bit. Could be a lot of fun. There is a Cling. Clean up my bench ever so slightly. I still have a couple of tier 0s that I know I'm not going to end up using. There's the Hetty evolution. Hopefully we end up winning this one so I get back up to 70. I think we'll be able to do so. Both of my carries are still very, very healthy. My entire team basically is very, very healthy. What am I saying? We're going to just clean through quite nicely. And now who I end up Aegis buffing just depends on what kind of evolutions I start seeing here. Because if the Mule here evolves up to the Jokul, I'm just going to Aegis buff that first instead. Let's see what we end up getting. Gonna level that one up. Let's trade our Rocco out for our Krunk. Find a couple. There's a Kuka for later. But both of my carries are just kind of being contested, it seems. Boost Jake does have one, or have at least a stab in. Polar Bear wise, Togo has that. Bindhole's hype has that as well. So both of the alluvials that I want to be using right now are kind of contested, it looks like. Potential knockout here onto Dead Chat as we do take their healer out. The little baby Pangu still doing pretty decent, but with both of the Ferns kind of firing at it, it will end up dying. So now it's kind of down to the Polar Bear to be able to be the one to do the damage, because everything else that I have is basically just reflective damage from my tanks, which they would technically have the team to kind of deal with, but that Archos' positioning is only worried about the two birds in the back, so we will be able to tear on through. A little bit of better positioning there, and it would have been much more threatening. But we'll take care of it. Okay, one more to the Ebb. Could potentially go for Mammoth here. Okay, let's take a look. We actually go right up to the middle stage. This now does open the door for a different version of Aegis. So I have Tempest Aegis right here. If I really wanted to do it, I would just trade out Ebb and my Penguin for my Cuculus and my Mammoth. Definitely have potential to do so. Let's see, if we give myself some shield, potentially a air buff as well. Okay, there's Penguin. Another Krunk. Something like this for now. Okay, that's the Omega augments that I was talking about earlier. Let's do that. 15 seconds left. Okay, let's try and make a quick move here. We're gonna switch this up to Tempest. Not gonna be fast enough to get everything I want online here, so Fox does have a chance to blow me up pretty quickly. This puts us up to 5 air units now. One more maxed out at 6 for maximum dodge chance will be quite nice. But we still gotta get there. And my Polar Bear kind of acting as a secondary carry, doing some decent damage, but Fox's team is better, including that Scion. Link is going to be charging on through here in just a second. Will blow me up. Okay. So now the annoying thing is I did pick the one drone augment that gave me specifically tier 4 benefits, so I do need to keep that in mind. The 5% health healing is quite nice. The other air chip is actually going to maybe push me over the edge to getting that 6 air comp going, so that's actually kind of cool. And maybe this can end up working here. 6 air, we do Tempest online. Going up against Togo. I could have put my augments on, but I kind of dropped the ball there. My Aegis should probably be going towards either Polar Bear or Mammoth instead. Cuculus is pretty good, but they're more so of a support rather than the purest of DPSs. So I'm definitely lacking. Especially when it kind of goes out all by itself. There's all these tanks here on the right-hand side, but my Cuculus goes off to the left. Gets completely shredded down. Mammoth might be the way to go here. It's the closest thing I have leveled. I just wish that I kept myself... Instead of taking the 3rd Aegis or the Aegis chip, maybe I should have gone for Harbinger instead. Okay, so let's make the change here. A Mammoth. Do something potentially like this. Let's give you that potentially. It's a little messy. Mammoth Aegis, I can't say that I have really much success with as of yet, but we're gonna give it a shot. Can I get an evolution on it? Not in time. Buying holes. Let's see their squad here once again. So it's level 30, so they're basically leveled at the same point that I am, but they have a beautiful composition, it looks like here. The 4 Mud. A tried and true, just devastating comp so far here, since things have changed over to Leviathan. So I have to blow everything that I have. Otherwise, at least we're in the top 4, so we will get a positive rating. But it'll be like 1 point. Okay, there is our Mammoth. That is pretty solid way to start things off. Can we somehow maybe find the Aegis? We need to find Hetty in this instance here. Finding Mule's a nice little upgrade as well. Can I find the final Hetty? There it is. That is pretty sick. Let's do that. So this is going to be a super buffed up Mammoth. And the last second level on to get the Flood onto the field as well for that 4th empath. So this is basically as good as my team's going to get right now. Now the nice thing too, we do have Harbinger back online, so the more damage my Mammoth takes, the more damage it will deal back. And it is basically like a ranged tank, so it can actually sit behind my tanks and get the job done. It's going to be constantly getting the dodge procs as well here. And finally, Toko's been destroying us for the most part in this entire game. We're finally going to be able to swing them around. Aegis buff Mammoth seems to be absolutely crushing. But actually, never mind. It seems like the Jokul was doing more damage. Do I just buff that instead? That may be the play. Do something like this instead? Make the Mammoth the Aegis generator? Something like this, potentially? Yeah, maybe that could be the way to go. It's not going to show this time here because my Jokul kind of got trapped, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind. But the Jokul did basically like almost 10k damage there. Something like this. Omega power augment. Let's get the engine onto my Mammoth so it starts flinging alluvials much faster. Omega power given to close enemies. And we'll see how this goes here. Hopefully my bear doesn't get trapped. This is what I'm worried about. Maybe I should have moved the Mammoth to a different position. Okay, no, the Gorilla's going to come on through, so my bear does get the chance to attack at least right off the rip. And the Forest actually was the one that didn't get to start swinging off the start. This is the lobby leader, of course. It's going to be a tough fight. It is very close, but the Mammoth is still here, still very healthy. Same thing with my Polar Bear. It may not be fully evolved, but it's doing quite well. Just flailing away, getting faster and faster every time it Omegas. And we might be able to hold our own here in this lobby now. I don't think anybody got the old Fate Sealer to deal with my air buff, so we'll have to see if anybody does. As of right now, no, nobody's doing it at all. I mean, right here, only 3 air here for Togo. I'm so close to leveling, actually, here as well, to get one more alluvial on field. And it's annoying. Part of me wants to level up and try and get one more alluvial. And I do kind of see an option, potentially. That's for what, 8? Let's see what we can do. Alfie can now join. From the corner. There we go. Maxed out on alluvials. Little Alfie's here to kind of fill the slots. Does, of course, have that fantastic little water beam that we'll see here in just a second. It is going to go right through, but that is, of course, a Mystic Squad. So once it gets to half health, the Deer or the Apon that did just tank that water beam, now there's going to be just damage reduction, I believe, essentially to the whole squad. Just making it so much tougher to actually get on through them. And that Adorius, that Deer that we see in the top right corner, is just doing such a good job of healing. But we might just have too much healing ourselves and too much tankiness. So far, it's looking quite good, actually. We've made it into 3rd. Fox did end up falling. Tempest, Aegis, can this get the job done? My damage dealers are still healthy. My bear is an absolute crackhead. But now we have the overtime, and they do have the healing. We got to get rid of the deer. We got to get rid of that deer. It is going to end up falling. We do take a round here off of Togo, but now we're once again back at it with the lobby leader. Got the upgrade for Alfie sitting there right in front of me, but I do not have a way to get it. I do not have the necessary credits to get the job done there. No, wasn't that a movie, though? There was a movie about a bear on crack attacking people, I believe, right? It was like supposed to be like a meme movie or something, right? That was my polar bear just now. But here we go, up against the lobby leader. My poor Alfie's probably going to get shredded here by this gorilla. Like, does get the one shot. Does end up taking it down, but my damage dealers are pretty healthy so far, including the polar bear directly in the center. Rip lances onto it, though. This is where things become troublesome. Hanging by a thread. Big stun coming up from the mammoth, but my polar bear is down. There are some low health bars. I still have the mammoth, but I don't have much else in regards to damage. Mammoth is going to have to throw them around with the cover of Blotto to somehow get this done. It's extremely close. We do get rid of one, but that Rip Lance, it's tanky, it's scary. A 1-on-1, no, a 2-on-1 rather, to finish the job here. Back and forth. At least I have some sort of shields, but it is going to be an absolute wet noodle fight. It's coming down to the overtime. Throw him away, Mammoth. Can you do it? You cannot do it. Very, very close. We're going to end up falling third. A very, very good battle, but we'll end up falling. Cocaine Bear, that's exactly what I was talking about. That's the movie that was my polar bear there for the last little bit. Wasn't too far off. But damn, that was a close and fun fight. The mammoth almost got it. And of course, with there being additional experience in the arena now, it's nice to see that the alluvials that were on the field, at least for a while, got the chance to level a bunch. Like, say, Axon, for example, Archos, Caradulo, they were on for a long, long time. Heck, even Slappin' getting a bunch of experience as well. So I'm definitely loving the change. But Mud's going to take this one. Beinhole's hype is going to take care of that one. So not too bad. After that one, of course, getting third bumps us up a little bit. And now I'm literally like neck and neck here with Lars and Nocturnal. Sprites right behind me as well, just 100. Or I saw the 71. I thought they were actually tied with me. But no, I've got the 100 points gap so far. Let's see. Maybe we can sneak into top 15 today. Yeah, seeing the polar bear spazzing out there kind of reminded me of that movie. Definitely still recovering a little bit from the weekend. If I look like I zone out every once in a while, it's a little bit of a side effect from it, but everything's okay, I promise. Looking forward to the other two streams, of course, happening this week as well. With tomorrow, of course, being the return of This Week in Illuvium. Going to be doing another news-style show. Relatively similar idea from last week, where we go through the community and go through all of the data. See if anything interesting pops up, all the news, all the updates in regards to the Illuvium Arena meta, as well as everything else around the Illuvium ecosystem in the Illuvium universe. And then, of course, at the very, very end, we're going to take a look at that Risk to Earn document, the gameplay design concept document that was posted in the Discord, basically showing what the original idea for the Illuvium deathmatch or your Risk to Earn battle royale style kind of game. We'll take a look at that and see how we feel about it. I have it downloaded and whatnot, but I have not taken a look at it yet. I kind of want to leave it as a first impression, so to speak, with everybody. So we'll do that to wrap up the show tomorrow. All right, this time we do have, I believe, the current leader of the entire game, Junior 3, and we have Togo back in here as well. Dr. Spoon, I mean, they've absolutely destroyed us the last couple of times we've played them. They're the ones with like all of the very high stat, almost perfect stat level 60s, so that's going to be scary. Sorry, one moment. Wait. Alright, let's get back at this here. I didn't get to quite check out exactly who was all players, but when in doubt, don't sleep on anybody. Interesting little setup, but of course we do have the Fire Tipo. Could very well potentially lead to Shock if things go my way. But in the meantime, I'll just build up my tank line. Let's get another fire. That's 3 fire now online. Let's get another fighter. I'll get that there too. Emergency button off the start. We're going to be able to get it. That's going to be our sustain. That part looks good. And just do something like that to kind of get us started off here. Depending on what kind of weapon we get, will determine the kind of setup. I have myself set up for Shock right now, but if I don't get the right weapon, there's no point in chasing it. Let's see what we end up getting. So Arrow Edge is definitely one way that it can be done. Ripple Flail, I don't mind. The rogue weapons, I could care less for. Could very well do Arrow Edge. It's not a way that I'm practiced with. Actually, this is probably the easier way to do it for what I know how to do. Let's go for it. So the Empath Staff. What this allows me to end up doing is eventually getting my, not the Atipo, but the Groko, so the Air Bulwark Groko. We'll get into the field, and that is where we get our Aegis from. And then we, of course, do need that Tiru. I do like having a Kuka as well for a little bit of backup. But Junior is going to be able to, I think, take this one. Looks like it. Yeah, they may have just a bunch of backline, but I can't actually really threaten that backline right now. So they'll take this one. Taking the extra drone damage is going to make things a little bit scary. The regen is okay. Scion, that's good for later, but I have to kind of get there first. Well, let's try it. We do manage to find a Lynx. Again, I didn't ask it to show up. It just kind of showed up for me, so I'm not going to complain about that. Let's get you online. I did not get the augments on in time, so we're probably going to end up losing this one as well. They tank the bank, another actual player. They do have these leveled up rather decently as well. Look at this little Rai. Nearly perfect with 40 Level 40 already. Absolute killer. The teams are getting harder. I'm not looking like the dominant force that I have been basically the last couple of weeks. But I'm not complaining. It's a good thing. I'd like to switch this one augment over to a red one if possible. Do I have another Scion? No, this is actually kind of pointless. Let's just do that. I'm not worried about becoming a nature rogue Lynx. Just try to get through here to the point where we can start rolling. But again, because this is Crimson Waves, the more losses I take, the less chances I'm going to have at actually getting there. The 2 extra damage per shot. And I do have the potential to be rather weak, at least off the start here. In terms of contest, at least nobody's really taking my alluvials so far. Tank the Bank does have one of each, the Tiru and the Rai, but just having the one's not going to concern me too much. Okay, there is our tank. Axon going to hold the line here for us. We did end up getting a health augment instead, so let's wait and see what the Dokkas bring us. Scoop these up, a bunch of health. There's a red one as well. Synergy for fire. No, it's going to ask for either water or more fighter. I mean, more fighter is probably just the safe one to go for. Okay, so let's move out these ones. We do get a level on a couple of our alluvials here. Let's try to set this up. So it'd be kind of set up like this. If I then did yellow with red, do I get the one for attack speed? I do not. I think I'm going to want to get that recycled. Get some additional health. Hollow Stasis Reactor, yes please. Scion, onto you as well. Now I'm about to get to the point where I can actually start rolling. Going up against Dr. Spoon though, so I'm probably going to lose this one. Hopefully the Lynx has enough damage to at least hold the line for me a little bit. Or maybe I'm in luck and just found a squishy squad here. A little level 60 Fury though, doing so much damage. Gotta take that thing out. Level 5 Tatofi here as well, here from the dock. And honestly, that Tatofi was basically perfect. It had no movement speed, but let's be honest, the snail doesn't have to move really at all if it's doing its job correctly. Oh, a nice find there. Okay, there's our fighter. And then let's see. Lynx, come on back. Thank you for your service. We're gonna retire you out here a little bit early. Get some fighter buffs around here. Just do something like this for now until we get Archos online. Has to give us Templar. Thanks for the proper beating. Yeah, that was a tough lobby, man. You're very, very welcome. Okay, we're going to be able to climb on through that one. Sherlin going to end up falling pretty quickly. Hey, going to be a viewer, so you don't lose too much rank on stream. I mean, hey, whatever. As long as you're having a good time, whatever works. Attack damage into energy damage as well. We'll go for that. Can we find Archos? That is my goal here. I need you. Okay, tank line looking good. There's Tiru. And we're gonna get skunked the rest here. So Togo has 2 levels on me. This is not good, not in the slightest. But hopefully this ends up being educational here for you, because I have a feeling that I might end up getting rolled, but we'll see. I've got the Doc, I've got Tank, we've got Junior in here, Togo. This is going to be a tough one once again. I do not have the numbers, but at least my squad is relatively powerful, as long as they don't end up turning and burning here onto my Ryalu, which at least it's Templar, so it is just dishing out more and more tank to everybody. And even though we do not have the numbers, it looks like we're just flat out strong enough to get this job done, as long as we could deal with this polar bear. There it is. Ballistics, hello, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic day. The air bulwark lance being right there in front of me does definitely make me consider, but I think I'm probably going to stay with the fire empath. Energy costs or just the damage? I think I just like the tankiness it springs. There is Archos. Okay, time to play. Now that Archos is here, let's put them in a position where they could at least tank a... not tank a little bit, but set me up quite nicely. Ryalu. Get buffed with the backup of Kukulus here. So optimally, this takes my Ryalu, lets them go around, so there's always the last one to the fight, and getting hit by the least amount of alluvials. Doing okay overall. Happy to be back in streaming. And happy to see that there's just much more activity here in the arena. Seeing the competition just get this much more fierce overnight, it feels like, from just one little announcement there with the experience gain is a very welcome change. Given the landscape, it does look like we can actually afford to roll a little bit. Not getting lucky off these first little bit. We do find the one Tiru. Maybe grab the flare for another tank potentially, another Rye. Scan a little bit more, down to 60 preferably. And we'll scoop up another Heady. Yeah, Junior's in this one. It's a tough lobby, 100%, and I'm loving this. Given another week or so when we go through the leaderboards with the... or maybe even tomorrow when we take a look at the leaderboards, I imagine there's going to be a hell of a shift in the top little bit, because a lot of the dedicated ones that we're just playing just for the heck of it. Yes, we got first mover advantage. However, now that there's something kind of to fight for here with all of this experience, we're seeing more and more people start to show up. And I imagine it's going to cause a very large shift in the ranked leaderboards. Okay, we do find Squiz, actually, which is going to allow us to really jumpstart getting Shock online. Let's do that. Can I make you a fighter temporarily as well? Let's get Squiz just kind of off to the side. Junior loves their mud, and they did find their Exalted Monk here. Thankfully, I'm still sitting at 85 health, so I have a little bit to work with. Poor Squiz got absolutely murked over there in the corner. But I do still have Ryalu kind of fighting in that pile near the center. Axod's not going to hang on forever, though. Monkier versus the Ryalu. The Monkier should win this. It's absolutely going to be able to do so, even though it's sitting there by a thread. We just could not get the finishing blow. Omega powers energy damage. Sure, let's give it a shot. Let's get rid of a couple of our tier 0s that we have randomly hanging on the field. I might need that Tipo for just fire buffing later. I feel like I really need to make a move now. And then level later, because I'm gonna start falling behind here, I think. Tiru's there. I at least want to have them. No, let's throw the flares out for now. We're looking for these tier 1s. Let's take a look and see if we can find them. Tiru number 2, Squiz number 2. It's a welcome sight. Of course, this is the risk with there being a roll composition. Okay, Birdo, thank you, but we'll have to let you go. There is Rye. And then I'll pause here for just a moment. So we have at least one of our shock alluvials. And I'm actually, specifically now that I'm looking at Tank the Bank, I actually have to stop right here, right now. They do have another Tiru here. So I am going to be rolling with very low odds, all things considered. So I think I now, if possible, can I get myself to a spot where I can just worry about getting back up to 70 income, or 70 credits, and then just power leveling for a little bit. It's kind of where my mind is going with this. Is there any rogues on this team? I don't see any, so my Squiz should be in fine shape. As much as I would love to have that 4th shock right now, it is a risky roll. I mean, it's probably doable, but it would be so costly. Now, Riley, we need you to find elimination here. This Kukulu's on the left-hand side stunning me up is making things so damn irritating. Thankfully, Squiz is kind of making up for the damage, but we didn't get any eliminations there for our Riley, so it did not get the chance to heal. And Togo should take us down here. That Ador doing a great job keeping them healed up. Unless we get some godlike resets. Nah, we're not going to get the resets we were looking for. Down to 50. Only the real players left. This might very well be the first time in a long time that I do not make it into the top 4. As much as I want to get to 70 credits, I don't think I can afford to. Let's get our fella here. You're already fighting, my bad. So let's switch that over. Excuse me, do something like this. I need to get Crunk there to try and blind the monk here. I don't mind these two jumping onto Riley. A little bit of damage is okay, it's just the burst that I have to worry about. Good shield there onto the Squiz. Can we find a reset? No, we will not. It will end up falling. And Riley's getting focused down again. Hanging on by a thread, though. Get the elimination for the heal. Not gonna happen. My damage is gone. But we do still have our tanks, including the Crunk. The only one left there is that Chakondi. That Junior's Chakondi is pretty strong, if I recall correctly. Let's see this thing. There it is, level 50, nearly maxed out, and it has the damage, it has the tank, and it's doing a great job so far. We need that overtime, and that is the only way we are going to be able to hang on to that one. Sheesh, that was close. I have it a couple times now I'm fighting to stay in the top 50. Yeah, it's tough now. 100%. Take this Kling. That'll be our 5th and final tank. A personal hope that at least the top 100 go to the tournaments. I'm interested to see how they do that. I personally imagine, because if we remember the Illuvium Pro League, the ranked ladder eventually stopped meaning anything in regards to qualifying for a tournament or something along those lines. So I'd be very surprised if they went back to it, but never say never. Okay, given the squad at hand here, let's flip sides. Let's get our Riley over here, maybe mess with the rogues to kind of start things off. Can we get a level? Get Kling into the field. That at least gives us our 5 bulwarks, so we're all maxed out on defenses and now getting reflective damage. But now I do only have the 10% shot at finding a tier 1, let alone it being the last Tiru of the bunch, so it's a very, very low chance we end up finding it. But I tell you what, this lobby, I am having a hard time trying to keep my Squiz alive. But we still do have the shock. It's doing a pretty decent job off the rip here. Riley's still relatively safe. I need to give it one more augment, though, to truly utilize the Aegis buff that it's got. But at least for this fight here versus Tank the Bank, we're going to be able to hang on for at least a little bit longer, get myself into that 2nd spot. Okay, damage, crit. Energy, no, no, no. Let's try the extra crit. We actually somehow do find the final Tiru. There we go. Okay. This is up against Togo. Do I want to blow everything on a level to get this fourth one? Okay. First off, let's tuck Squiz in here. Maybe we do level. Have Tiru right behind, so the Tiru Cub ends up being right behind Squiz. 4 Shock now online. Brings the Thunder down a little bit faster and does about 400 per bolt. This is exactly how we need this to happen. It needs to be done quickly. The longer these fights go, it usually doesn't necessarily go into our favor too much, but we do have at least that consistent damage. Riley stunned up, but it does manage to take one down. Get the polar bear and take it down quickly before it starts snowballing. There we go. And we are going to absolutely be able to crush this one here. So we can beat Togo, we can beat Tank the Bank. But what about Junior? And God forbid, is there some way that we can beat Dr. Spoon? Well, I'm not going to have much time to figure out because it's right here, right now, happening. Okay, based off of this positioning, we need to catch that dash badly. If I roll... Oh, I don't necessarily need to. Does anybody else go for Squid right now? No. Okay. Might be panicking a little bit, but I don't necessarily have to. I'm going to have Rai come down a little bit. I'm going to kind of position myself a bit in front of it. Hopefully that the dash goes after either, or the rake rather, goes after my Kling or goes after my Ranger, while also staying in range of my Riley. Is that the way that we can possibly do this? This way, even if it goes untargetable, my Riley's going to have no choice but to attack that rake. Can it get the job done? Nope. It looks like my tanks just got too squishy, and now this rake is going to run amok. Yes, my Riley's turning on it, but it's also going to keep popping in and out. And with that, my Riley's not going to be able to do the damage necessary. The Mammoth didn't even need to get involved into the fight because it was just holding the line. And we will get smoked here. Was focused on dealing with the rake, but we could not deal with it anyway. So we will end up falling. Tank the Bank going to be first to fall here. So at least no matter what, we are in the positive. It's just a matter of how far in the positive can we keep ourselves. Ranger there to kind of protect ourselves. We do have rogues looking to jump on in. I know they're going to want to absolutely destroy this squid. Make a quick switch here. Go point blank with the Monkier. Try to get the blind out as fast as possible there, Crunk. Caradulo, please catch the rogues. It looks like they're going to be able to do so far, but the Blotto died so quickly. My goodness, just the level and the damage coming out here from Junior is just too much. Absolutely getting shredded on. Riley versus Monkier. This goes to Riley every time. Not to mention the absolute swarm that's coming on through. Togo is going to end up going down, so we are still in the game. 4 HP, sitting in third. Both of these teams have ways to get to my backline. This is tough, to say the least. Do at least have a brief moment while we go through these NPCs. It's gotta somehow find a way, I think, to keep Squid alive, and we need to level this thing up. We need Squid, we need it now. How far can we go? Can we get a Fisto? It's coming close, it looks like. We're not gonna get there. One short. Gonna Aegis buff The Aphisto, or not the Aphisto, the Squid, and I just left 2 augments on the side because I was too damn slow. If we're lucky, we win this fight, but it's Dr. Spoon. I doubt that we're winning this. Aegis buffed up the Octius. The Octius is one of my weaker units in terms of stats. And the Rake is on top of it. Resets are coming on through. We are doing some pretty decent damage, but they have the tank to get there. Was 1 Squid away from getting a Aphisto, but even then, I do not think that would have been enough to actually win this fight here. So if anybody comes to me and says that auto battlers don't require high APM, please take a look at that instance there. My goodness. Just get to look at some of the experience coming on through, and it's just so nice to be able to just crush on through the 30s now like this. Let's see if we can squeak into that final battle, possible final battle here. We have Dr. Spoon versus Junior. Dr. Spoon, one of the best collections in the game. Junior, the top-ranked player currently in the game. Where does this stand? Let's take a look at some of these Luvials real fast. Look at this Jotun. It is completely evolved, but at the same time, look at it. It's only level 40. Doesn't necessarily have the stats. Lots of pressure here onto this monk here, and even the forest to get the job done. But here for Dr. Spoon, Dual F is here protected by the Mammoth. Let's watch this go. Big combo coming out there with the Rake, but the damage is also coming on through here from the Mud units for the side of Junior. But is it going to be enough? I don't think so, because here comes the Dual F beams, just slowly but surely shredding on through. And with that, that should be the finishing blow. That is going to be Junior out of here in second. Dr. Spoon, once again, finishing on top. Nicely done. Good games, everybody. Of course, that is 2 games, so we'll very quickly reboot the game. Got time for 1, maybe 2 more if we're lucky. So I'm not losing rating, but I'm definitely not climbing like I used to, I tell you that much. Granted, that last build was a little bit, or both my builds so far today have been a little bit unusual, to say the least. They've been fun, but not necessarily enough to push it over the edge. We'll take the podiums, and if I'm lucky, maybe we squeaked into the top 15, but maybe just for a second. I imagine I won't stay there for very long. We hop back into here. It scares the crap out of me every single time when I see code 500. I'm like, uh-oh, what went wrong? But no, everything seems to be fine. If I were to guess, I'm guessing it's probably something to do with the Battle Pass. Of course, it still says that the Battle Pass is here, even though it's not anymore. Oh boy, here we go. So, funny enough, we have Squawk in this game, right? So, Squawk messages me something along the lines of, what exactly did he tell me here? I see you're in game, I see you're climbing. Call me when you want to D-rank. Well, now is that time, apparently. We have a pretty strong squad here once again. I think it was, of course, that was Squawk, that was Hector in there as well. And of course, the scarier part with these changes is sometimes there's people with names I don't recognize that do end up actually being very, very strong players. A nice little change here. Look at this. This is 6 out of 8 players this time. Oh, God. We got Magnet. We got Squawk, Junior, Antoshino, and Hector. And with the lands being Brightland Steppes, so 20 free rerolls. If I want to do some sort of roll composition shenanigans, it definitely helps with the way the current region is. Not a guarantee, but it could be possible. I'd say good luck, have fun in the game chat, but the game chat actually doesn't work right now for some reason, so... Unfortunate, but apparently it is intentionally done. So as long as they know. Okay, Junior and I to start things off. I did something like this. You can give me a tank. This way I have at least a little bit of a power boost, but I'm not committing my augments yet. My Valente should be able to dive directly towards the Ranger, then towards the Flish. I really need to understand which metric is the most dominant to win. Is it Synergy or TPI? From what I understand, because I'd asked the same question a little while ago, as it is right now, I think you do get a pretty decent power spike just by TPI alone. So even if it's a level 1, but it has decent TPI, you do have a pretty considerable advantage over somebody who is a little bit more leveled, but doesn't have the strongest stat alluvials. So I think TPI is definitely super, super valuable. Then level. Taking a look and seeing what we end up having here. I'm thinking... Any other Scion? There is no other Scion, so I'm kind of happy we just timed out into the Lava Gauntlet. My poor Valente is going to get absolutely jumped. Magnet does have their own alluvials, of course. They're not perfect, but they are still strong and they are still good. 34 here onto this Lynx currently. Does have some firepower as well, even a little lesser monkier. Has the attack speed it needs to just pull on through, and that's the nice thing. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just have something to kind of get you started here. Yes, when we get into a tournament, like say if I was in a tournament setting, I would probably get crushed, because seeing players like Dr. Spoon, for example, I imagine that a lot of these tournament players are going to have collections like that, because they honestly, they need to be participating in tournaments to get full value of their team, right? How do we want to do this here? 1 second. Let's try the fire buff here. Let's go heavy into fire today. Fire and earth, so to speak. Maybe we can give that a try. I always thought that a level 60 average TPI would beat a 40 high TPI. I mean, I've seen instances of both kind of happening here, where just the average level takes them down, but I've seen, at least personally, most of my alluvials are like average TPI and level 20-something at best. And I've taken down level 60s. It has happened, but like there is certain gameplay aspects I still have to consider 100%. It still can be done. Just kind of tough. Still got to worry about positioning. Still have to worry about your synergies. Still have to worry about Lynxes just absolutely shredding your face in with maximum attack damage. Like, this is definitely tough, but it can be done. Like, even this. My Fleesh is a 29, and it's the last one standing here up against this Ranger. I do not have all of the levels always going into my favor, but we can still pull it off. Okay, so I really have to think about what my game plan is for this. I think, given the Scion weapon, I mean, there's a few ways I could take this. If I can go for a Magma Invoker style, where I'm looking for Sephirus, or considering the amount of attack damage augments I'm getting, do I just go for Scoriox? I imagine Squawk is going to want to do that as well. They have the fighter Boomerang, which suggests going for Scoriox. Blissix, yes, thank you so much. Have a great day, eh? Attack speed as well, potentially. Okay, let's get that in line. Send that back over to you here. Something like that. Counter Junior's team choice. So the thing is Junior's probably going for Mud. That seems to be their tried and true, and they're set up quite nicely to be able to do so. Yes, maybe throwing a wrench into things by maybe snagging Monkier wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea. That does open things up for Magma Arcanite, which would still go along with the current game plan. We're barely scraping by here. Some of these fights here. Gonna take the win here onto Anto. And do I even want to bother with the Lynx, actually? I'm very, very torn here. We'll snag it. Okay, take the front lines. You go here. This should be a direct shot through pretty much the entire squad, but my T-Ante is actually a little bit better. Or a lot better, actually. Look at my Arcane Lynx. This thing is absolute cheeks. But it does still cleave through the entire team, so it's still good in that regard. But then, of course, there's T-Ante. Just completely, at least almost perfect. I just wish that movement speed was in its attack damage instead. Doesn't Invoker counter Mud? I mean, I have had it work, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily the hard counter per se. The potential is there. Because we have free rolls, I don't need anything from tier 0, so I'm going to put myself into level 6 in just a minute. And then let's use some of these free rolls. And I'll take the Fleesh, why not? What do I want to add on? Do I potentially add on my other Empath? A Goyle in there. The Lynx's shot isn't too shabby. In fact, let's do something like this. The one thing you do have is attack speed, attack damage. So maybe I just use you as an auto attacker right now. My little Lynx. Tatofi. Okay, monkeys. We'll pick up those as well. We could need them. I should have grabbed that Flish. Considering nobody else is going for Seaforus right now, that might be the way to go. Let's see. We can get very, very close now to getting Seaforus. There's another thing, potentially. Yeah, let's start with Magma Invoker, I think is the way to go. Yeah, set these monkeys to the side. I play up against Junior enough to know that I should probably take a couple. Wait for this next level here. There's Junior now. If I'm going for Invoker, I want energy cost reduced so that I get more casts, therefore get more boosts. Here's a couple Fleeches. Okay, Archos is here. This part is good. On the verge of finding Tatofi. Let's get rid of the Fleeches if we're gonna start doing this. I'm almost out of my free rolls. Can we find Seaforus in this free rolls? No. A few more. Let's go to 70. We are so damn close. We do find it at the very, very end and stay above 70. So it's actually a best case scenario, all things considered. But can we win this fight, I wonder? And Monk here is going to be an absolute pain, but of course I have a couple now on the bench. I feel bad, but it is a way that this game can be played. Junior, I know you play Mud. And of course, yes, Granite is absolutely a way of playing around this as well. I didn't want to necessarily grab the Scarabocks off the back because it's a pretty expensive pickup. Now, starting with energy might not be a bad idea. Let's do that. Another monkey. Got another tank here as well. I am 1 away from having an additional Scion for that 5 Scion buff so I would not get stunned. Let's get Magma Invoker online. I didn't link up yet. There we go. And now we've got Invoker online. We've got the new batteries, I believe it was called. It's one of the newer augments. So I get an additional start to energy as well. Start clocking in those Invoker procs much faster. A fusion crate. The shield one, yes. For a spellcaster, I love the shield one in particular. Starting energy, and then additional damage when hitting a shield. You can really turn your spellcasts into absolute nukes. Given I'm trying to protect Sepphoris for now, let's move you over. Lynx, you still stay there. You still keep all the attack damage. You're basically just a budget Furiox right now. There is already an Arcane Zephyr Lynx on board here, so I'm not going to bother rolling for it. Let's get some levels in. Okay, one more tank online. Can we find another? Actually, here is Alfie. Once that turns into Synalf, maybe I'll bring it into the field as well relatively quickly. Now, speaking of Furiox, is anybody going for Furiox? Squawk has one. Maybe we'll do that and pause just for the moment here. Up against Magnet, but right now it looks like we're doing a pretty good job. Let's watch a Sepphoris cast. Can it burst through these? Just absolutely chunked out the Archos. Fur Knight's not going to be long for this world as well. And then, yes, of course, Squiz is an Invoker. The thing is it's only an Invoker once it's a Fisto. So, once I get to a high enough level, and I have my economy still stabilized, I'd 100% look for it. One more monkey for the sake of it. Yeah, we have no more chances of getting any more... whatchamacallit? Any more, Fleeches, so let's get that off the field. Level up a little bit more. I could potentially just do this. Let's see how it works having Furiox here as well, and then maybe I'll take Fleesh out instead and put the Lynx back in. Up against Hector in this fight. Take a look at some of the damage as this one's going down. Fury is going to end up getting focused down here by this little foe. It looks like we're going to end up getting cooked this time. How is this Sepphoris cast setup going? It does take care of the foe. Some damage is gone. But I don't have sustain right now, and that's going to be a problem. Will take me down. Okay, let's make this swap out here. How do I want to do this here? Ranger, let Fury in. I still have this Atipo. Let's move that out of the way. Let's squeak everybody on in as best as possible. Ranger's going to be exposed for this fight, but I'll repair that in the next one. In the meantime, let's get close to leveling. Level 8s will have some better chances here at trying to get our Synalf and the rest of our damage dealers, but right now, Squawk will absolutely eat us alive. One more shot here from Sepphoris to maybe nullify some of this damage. Not going to come on out, so down to 50 currently. Okay, so Tipo, I thank you for your service. But you're out of here for now. I am very, very light on tank line, though, with my current setup. So I do need to start hoping that now that I'm in some higher levels, that Scarabok starts showing up. Maybe start snagging some headies or something along those lines as well. And since I am all loaded up on Scions, I'll get rid of the Flish. Flare is a welcome change here as well. Potentially put you there in front of Fury. And now that we're level 4, this gets me in a good spot to basically hit everything that I want. That is a good start. There's another Invoker. And because the Ranger is small, the Ranger could actually park itself right in between multiple of these Alluvials. Juniors still hit their damn monkey. My goodness. Nicely done. I will push those aside then. And look for a few more. There's the Squiz. And now we'll have Furiox. Good on Junior to still be able to find that while still being very well off in terms of economy as well. They did not have to all in on that in the slightest, and they still got what they want. Okay, there's Scarabok. Okay, Lynx, I thank you for your service. Squiz, come on in. But I need to get Scarabok right there next to my Squiz. And I have maybe 2 more losses left in the tank. See if maybe I can get some Omega power potentially. Doesn't look like it. Make something else a bulwark. I am lacking on tank as of this moment. AoE damage, let's give it a shot. Scarabok, okay. Squiz, bang bang. One more here. Do I get attack speed? What did I have on him? I do already have attack speed. Wish I had the one for percent health, honestly. I'm actually going to recycle that. Let's see if we can get lucky with a percent health one. Okay, Omega Power to the other Invoker. In fact, I'm still putting... yeah, I have such a weak tank line right now. Let's actually replace these. Something like that. I'll take the Heady over my Grocko in this instance. I actually should put Scarabok in there. What am I doing? Okay, good shot there. Going right towards the healer. It will take it down, so that's a good start. But we need to get through the rest of this CC. We got Scarabok. We do have the Mammoth. They're going to be throwing things all over the place, but we do have the immunity from the 5 Scion. But we just don't have necessarily the sustain that we're looking for. Can we get rid of this Mammoth before another big cast? It's a good shot. Shots fired now onto the Winx in the corner. What about that damn Lynx, though? That's a lot of damage. One more cast could be troublesome. One more shot nearly takes down the Squiz. But we still do have our Invoker. Our dear Sinalf is still here. Keeping us in the game. Now, if I can get the right augments, that would be absolutely incredible. Solid start. I need this. I don't have tank. I mean, I'll take this. This wasn't the one I was looking for, but we'll have to let it ride. Let's level. Scarabok is here. 5 Bulwark, 5 Scion. Okay. There's the squad. Now, we do have... We do have Granite now online, so we can move you over a little bit. We make you the spellcaster of choice for the time being. Make it fire, I suppose, as well. No, let's keep you like that. I only do it this way to try and get the maximum benefit out of Granite. Up against Magnet. Something is right next to my Furiox as of this moment, though. It's a Lilura. We do manage to take it down, but again, sustain and tank is not my strength right now. That Forest has done such a good job of taking me out. But I still have a couple of Invokers. Or not the Invokers, it's literally the Furiox and then just the Sephoris. The Shingon Furiox is absolutely opening fire, but it doesn't necessarily have the damage, the health, the percent, or anything along those lines. We need a cast from Sephoris, and it is going to get the Furiox safe. Oh my goodness, that was such a close one. Hey, Heady. Yes. Squawk is basically taken away a lot of these Furioxes, but yet I still managed to find a bunch. A scary roll. I think keep myself in this game. I don't think I necessarily beat Hector. Another squid. Oh my, okay. It's not gonna let... Am I too slow? Oh, Christ almighty. I was too slow on the gun there, and that is definitely infuriating. In fact, I do need to... Oh man, I'm throwing a little bit here. I have to do it like that. We'll have to find Squiz again, but I don't want to get rid of a Furiox because I know Squawk is looking for it. Having that duel left right now would have been beautiful, but we are going to get absolutely melted through. Thankfully, I think I still have one more life in the tank. Messy, messy, messy gameplay coming on through here. A 4 glory move here to maybe find Furiox. Blair as well, potentially. This would give me Magma. Yeah, once again, I think we gotta go for that. We've got Magma online. Let's move these tank augments over to the one tank that's actually not gonna die in 2 seconds. Let's see if we can get it done. I mean, another way that I could have done this was make Steam Invoker instead. Let's see how this goes. Good shot up against the back line. There we go. Good stun there from Goliant. Shoot the Apon. Get rid of this monkey, please. Good shock coming on through. There we go. That was good. That was good. We're in this still. I leave and I'm last of the people still alive, to be fair. Okay, 2 squids. And again, I'm rolling over and over again here. I am trying to find Furiox before Squawk. And because I have the right weapon, I can change this over to Steam Invoker. Depending on the team. If they dive at me, maybe I go Magma. If I'm shooting into their team, maybe I go Steam. I'm not sure. I'm definitely torn. Okay, Omega Power, yes please. Boost you up to be an absolute monster. Regen into shots. I need this here for more of the words. For more of the Invoker procs. Hey, there's another squid. We got a bunch of squids. I do not have enough time. Gonna be sticking with the Steam version, going up against Squawk. A good block. This is gonna shoot all the way over into the Ranger, so it's gonna be able to take maybe 2 down. But here comes that ramp fight. It dies before the cast comes off. That's absolutely huge. This one's going in the Furiox. Point blank. No, it's actually going into the bird over on the left-hand side. Not bad. Can we get there before the bear? We will be able to do so. We're still in the game. We are still here. One more squid. We're going up against Junior, though. Do I win if I don't find Octius? Squawk has no cash left. You know what? We're going to make the move now. One final shot. We get it, Fisto! There we go. Absolute best case scenario. Take this for a little bit of tank. We've got 4 Invokers. We have Granite, we have Steam, we have a lot. There's still some rogues coming in, though. We have the invulnerability. Can we get these spellcasts to make it rain before the mud just absolutely destroys us? It is close. They are tearing on through again. My tank line is so weak, but we are bringing down the lightning. It's not going to be enough. Junior will take us down. I feel like it was a good move, but couldn't quite get the job done. We do find ourselves in third once again. Tell you what, we're pretty damn consistent with thirds, it seems like, here today. That's some good experience on to everybody there. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Again, just no tank line. Had I had the tank line, it would have been a much different game, I feel. But does this end up being the finale here? So we've got Mud coming out here once again from Junior. But of course, Squawk, 5. Or not 5, it's the 7 fire with the Inferno proc as well. In the red, looking good so far. Opening fire. The double Furiox is plowing on through, but that Riplance is doing such a fantastic job of holding the line. But it is basically the lone member left here for the green side. Will it be able to get through the 2? Goes for the Arctase. The Arctase is just chipping away, though, with fire. And with that, Squawk will end up... No! Hang on! The Riplance lived! The Riplance lives, and of course, with my Furiox is being gone, sold and back into the pool. Squawk now has the Danger Noodle. Scoriox is here. And it is absolutely devastating. It's not perfect, but it's got the stats in the right places. Junior in the green. Squawk in the red. One more time potentially, unless Squawk can make the comeback now that the Scoriox is here. Diving on through. Let's see how it goes. Arctase, double AC-130s right across the board. Everything is burning, but the one thing that is still standing is this damn Scorpion and the rest of the friends here on the green side. That again is going to be Junior 3. They're at the top of this ranked leaderboard for a reason. And they've kind of figured this Mud Squad out to a T. They are going to be your victor here today. I mean, that is the best case scenario there for a Riplance. You have an Exalted Monkier as a team. You have all the rest of the Mud units sucking away all of the stats from everything else, so that you're just the lone berserker going nuts in the end. And that's many times where it seems like Riplance is just so good at clutching out fights, as long as it also has the right augments. It had the emergency button. It had the sustain. It basically had everything that it could have possibly wanted there. Beautifully done, though. GG's, everyone. We have broken into the top 15. Sorry, Nocturnal. Sorry, Lars. I literally passed you both by a point, but we'll take it. I imagine you'll take me out very shortly. Oh, Ballistics was right there in 13th as well. They were in chat a little bit earlier. But I don't think I'll be catching Ballistics today. One more time. Let's do this. Yeah, top 15 in the world right now. But I don't see that lasting much longer. Illuvium had just made an announcement, I believe it was just yesterday, where they made it so that competing in the arena now gives you experience again, and they made it so that it gives you 3 times the experience compared to what it used to be. So people with good collections could actually come into the arena, play the game, and level up their collections much quicker. And we're seeing a lot of these killers now start to show up. And I imagine, give it about a week or so, I'll probably be struggling to stay in the top 50. The only way to go is down. Are we talking about the game, or are we talking about my life? What are you talking about, mate? But in the end, 5 went down. Yep. It was a close one. Wait. Here, insisting on the game? Yeah, there we go. Good, good, good. Wait. Curious as to who we'll run into this time. They did, I believe, also make a slight change. I think I mentioned this earlier, but they made a slight change to where bots don't join the queue as fast as they used to. So it's why these queues are a little bit longer. But overall today we had, I think, 2 games with 5 people and then 1 with 6. That is much better than what it used to be. And can always point to is determining the winner. I feel like Polly make a. I mean, just wait till the Risk to Earn. I mean, they'll be right in their wheelhouse once that Risk to Earn game comes around. But it is good to be back here. I know it may have only been just missing the Friday there, but I missed streaming. I missed talking to you guys. I missed Illuvium. Happy to get back into the swing of things here. May not be 100%, but it's helping. All of y'all are helping me keep my mind off things, and I definitely appreciate it. Polymarket plus Illuvium would be a powerful team up at the level. Illuvitar collections with Polymarket and then... maybe. You never know. It's a bit over my head, but you never know. And of course, we're going to be doing a little bit of a back-to-back. Tomorrow I'll be online as well. Again, it'll be this time, though, with the next, This Week in Illuvium. So the next news segment, or community recap and community highlights segment, will be happening tomorrow. With, of course, I had mentioned that Risk to Earn document. Well, we're going to go over it tomorrow, of course, with the game design concept. The Illuvium Deathmatch, I believe, as it's been kind of quoted for now. Looking forward to seeing exactly what their ideas are going towards it. Coming from someone who notoriously hates gambling and hates gacha mechanics. Because as much as I've played Rise of Kingdoms, Call of Dragons, or any of those games where you have to spin the wheel in order to get the heroes that you want, there's a reason I don't play that anymore. I'm fed up with that kind of stuff. And I'm fed up with gambling or gacha mechanics, so I really, really hope that with a Risk to Earn game here for Illuvium, that it does not turn into a gacha fest. It does not turn into a casino. But if you can do the Risk to Earn styles tastefully, I would love to see that. An April team up and try to come up by the... It's definitely something I would need a little more information on, because I'm a little lost at the moment, but always open. Give 1 second. That's better. And shoutouts to the X community here showing up. I just quickly went over to check. Of course, I still do have your chats online. But I see we did get a repost here from Big Man and from Illuvium themselves. So hello, X community. Thank you for joining. Hope you're having a fantastic day as well. Okay, one more time. And I think this is going to be tough. This is going to be a tough one once again. So we're going to get, I think, 4 quality games here today. I'm very, very excited about this. Crystal Shores gain 1 stackable reroll every single round. All right. To me, leaning away from the gambling aspect, but being a tournament commentator in esports, I mean, I fail to see the connection. I might just be going over my head, though. That's very potentially something. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're getting at there, Fox, but I might just be a little bit fried right now. Okay, 2 mud units potentially. Take the Doka as well. So yeah, Moika we had earlier in our game. I think they're kind of just getting started off, though. If it's not a bot. I believe they had maybe a couple of alluvials, but not too many. G-Hamster is an absolute killer. Efran you cannot sleep on. Dr. Spoon's a killer. And then Luds and Toast bot I'm not quite 100% sure on. But Warrior Ace I know is also rather highly rated as well. So this will be a tough lobby 100%. We got Moika off the start here. Let's get to my other Earth Alluvials up in here. So get 4 Earth nice and quick. Emergency button. No, we're not going to get the one I'm looking for. So we'll send that to the Recycler. And let it go from there. Yeah, we'll clean through to start things off. And I mean, with there being so many Earth Alluvials on here, is it my turn to play Mud? Potentially? If it rolls my way, it could very well be a thing. I mean, there's the weapon for it. Is anybody else going for it? Moika, I mean, potentially could. Spoon, what are you doing? What are you doing, Doc? Let's go for it. Yeah, let's level up and get TNT in here. It's like you're sort of already in the place where a bridge goes between the average gamer, doesn't want to, you know... It is an odd spot, because, yeah, like 100% I'm going to be stuck in a spot where, like, say a gambling kind of style, like if I'm commentating and I'm doing content on, say, the Risk to Earn version of Illuvium or their game, it is an awkward spot because, like, while I am not necessarily a fan, or I'm not a fan of gambling or gacha, by me doing content on it, in a certain sense, I'm promoting it, right? So I have to be very, very careful, and I'll have to be extremely open and honest with everybody, of course, with everything that's going on, because, yeah, like, I want to still be able to make content on it, but at the same time, I do have to, like, acknowledge that, like, things are being lost here, there's gambling involved, and, like, sure, some of the things that we'd be talking about, or some of the things that we'd be doing, it could have high highs and, like, really tempting lows, but trust me, if I end up making any sort of content on the Risk to Earn game, there is going to be essentially disclaimers, or me, like, talking very consistently about the dangers of it, because I have absolutely seen people destroy themselves on CSGO skins in particular. And I do not want to see that happen to anybody else. So if I do end up making any sort of content on it, just know that I will be as responsible as possible. Now, Warrior Ace, this is where I think I just kind of run into a brick wall. They're going to be a couple levels up on me, but they also have some decent levels onto their Alluvials. Maybe not necessarily the stats, but they do have the firepower still. Just on levels alone, that'll knock me down. And there we go. Earth Groko will gladly accept that. I am not getting the augment that I'm wanting here for this monk here. The annoying part, did you go mud but with, oh Christ, okay. So Moika might have just went mud but with the Ripple Flail instead, potentially. I mean, we'll see. I don't see any Monkey yet, but okay, there we go. We'll give that to Monkey. We now need some Omega, not Omega power. We need some firepower. We need attack damage. G-Hamster's probably ready to push my face in here in just a moment's time. That Railu in particular looking quite nice. I can turn this into health, that's fine. We can do that. Maybe make this switch temporarily. Just for some additional healing. Yeah, the poor Ranger just does not survive, like, at all in a DPS role, especially in a melee DPS role. Granted, at the same time, though, G-Hamster's squad is absolutely brutal. Crushing on through. There's Grilla. And now we can roll a little bit here. Okay, no, this is actually going to be really rough. I can't do mud, actually. There's no chance. If Dr. Spoon is going for Earth Mystic, that's just going to completely wreck me out of the chance of actually doing this. So I need to actually pivot somehow. Somehow, we gotta pivot our way out of here. This will be a tough one. Definitely not setting myself up for success. I mean, might have an idea that kind of at least get us started at least. So Chuko can go away, that's fine. Monkey's not going to be able to do enough here for me. Let's get tanky. We can give ourselves Toxic at least for the start. Of course, I can't give attack damage to my Ranger, so that's not a thing. Do this for now. And extra credits into level. If I'm lucky, the Ranger can hold on for just a little bit. Maybe let Tianti do the damage here instead. Good shots, and we will clean things up here. All right. Stop the bleeding at least a little bit. Okay, weapons. Armor them. Potentially. I mean, I know Spoon's going for this weapon right now. What's the last one? Scion? Let's try it. Okay, so Scion, I think, is going to actually end up trying to be our saving grace here. Do something like that to get moving here. I'm a little bit slow. Harbinger currently. What is the status? We can do something very similar to what we did in the last game, maybe, but just with an Earth spin on it. Let's look for Sephirus. Maybe I'll pick up Scarabok early even this time. Okay, max health is Omega Power. Considering what we're doing, I think we can try that. Okay, tank. There we go. Need one more, but I'm still looking for Totofis. There we go, we'll take those. Potentially one more. We might be getting bailed out a little bit here today. All right, sweet. Well, first and foremost, I'm happy that we've been able to pivot out of mud relatively painlessly, all things considered. Perfect? Absolutely not, but not the worst case scenario either. We've got the engine. Give Sephirus the engine. Let's go Granite Invoker to get us moving here. Something along these lines here. Let's turn this into potentially another spellcasting augment. Let's level. Let's get Kling in here instead. Okay. Alright, I think I'm kind of caught up here. Not too bad, all things considered. Alright, sweet. What's the landscape on the rest of our Scions here? So Furiox just does not look like it's possible right now. We do have G-Hamster, we have Warrior Ace also looking for it. Luds has it. They're having a little bit of a harder time to start things off, so I imagine they'll get knocked out relatively quickly. But the rest of our Scions look basically uncontested, so all of our spellcasters, not our auto attackers, but all spellcaster Scions seem to be available. So potentially that will be the way to go. Just gonna put the credits into my level. Blood's likely looking like they're gonna get knocked out here very, very soon, like I was mentioning before. Relatively decent team, but based off the positioning, based off the fact they have no levels, it's not looking too strong for them as of this moment. Let's get ourselves another engine. This will be for our second Invoker when the time comes here. Or second Invoker outside of the Ranger. We'll give it to Archos for the time being, just for a little bit of additional sustain. And I know right now the Granite isn't necessarily doing anything, but I'll eventually move Sephirus out of the corner and into a more open spot once I start finding other spellcasters. Especially if I manage to find Sinolf or something, then yeah. Think about a proposal for a drone anchor for producers who want to move any camera around. I'm always a fan of cinematic stuff, and being able to add it onto into the game. If it makes sense, I'd like it. I wouldn't want it to suck up too much resources, but I like the idea. Okay, so Alfie is on the field now. It's not an Invoker yet, so I'm not going to worry about juicing it up too much. It's just going to be a little bit of extra damage. And at least it's going right for the back line. where Warrior Ace is. Furiox is. The Ranger going to clean things up nicely. And how about that? Even though we were originally stuck what looks like completely out of luck with a Mud Squad, has successfully turned into Invoker. I'm going to keep putting my additional credits into level. Get up to level 9, maybe even level 10. Thankfully, at least all the things that I need to level up now, or at least that I'm worried about leveling up, are at least a tier 3 unit. So going high up in level doesn't actually scare me too much right now. Not like the last game where I was going for, I believe it was Invoker as well. But all of my tanks were the tier 1s. Or it was tier 1s and 3s. So I had like an Atlas on my late game team. That did not work out in the slightest. Up against Moika, I think we're going to be knocking them out here. A very consistent battle. Or a very decisive battle, to say the least here. We will send Moika out of here. GG's. Okay. The Cling is an awesome upgrade. We'll gladly accept that. Mammoth will definitely find use here on this team. If I do want to end up going for 5 Bulwark, 5 Scion again, Mammoth into Squiz is the way to go. I'm going to move my other engine over to my Alfie just so I don't forget. And then we'll level up for the next round. A lot of attack damage. This is going to be a little messy. The Omega Power will gladly accept. Mammoth will take you again. Attack damage is going to do me absolutely no good, so I do need to be recycling these. Do I want a Bulwark or do I want another Earth? I think I'm actually going to go for another Earth. Give it to maybe my Crunk. Give myself a little bit of attack damage to start things off. Am I pressured at all for what I'm trying to build? It does not look like it, so I can actually put these credits into my level. It's kind of the decider. Like, if I have other people going for Alfies, or I have other people going for Squiz at this moment, or Scarabok, or something along those lines, I would need to start rolling now at level 9, but nobody else is right now. So I am completely content to just, even if I end up losing a couple of rounds, that's totally fine. I can absolutely just keep my economy up, keep getting myself all the way up to level 10, and then eventually, hopefully, just turn and burn on the rest of the field. And I did, of course, I kept that Restorating Impact Reactor onto Sephora's for a reason, because it's usually one of the last Alluvials always alive. And just being able to give itself more healing is very, very satisfying. I'm not going to do Glass Cannon with Scions. It's just a bad idea. Water, maybe? We could try the water one. Just give to somebody who we want to generate more casts more often. Do something like this. Take Atlas out of here. Let's get Mammoth onto the field. You're the one that I would want to be casting, so let's move you in there. Again, extra credits going into the level. In theory, the next turn we'll hit level 10, and we can start getting ready to start looking. I'm still at 72 health. I'm very, very healthy. I can afford a few losses here. That being said, though, this squad is holding up extremely well. We might actually knock Warrior Ace out of here. And this 3-on-1, I mean, the Polar Bear is good, but it's got a beam and a bunch of missiles rocking at it in just a second. Warrior Ace will end up falling in 5th. GG's. Mammoth evolves. make you tankier. What do I have on you right now? Okay, just the healing over time. Let's give you holostasis. Extra credit into the level. And we will be there. I'm not going to trigger it just yet. I don't necessarily have something that I'm ready to place in for unit number 10 yet. Hey, Ephraim, let's see. That's slashing. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have the augments it's looking for. It's more so the Monarch that's going to be the carry here. And that, to be fair, is an absolutely devastating Monarch coming out here from Ephraim. Here comes a ramp fight as well, but it isn't necessarily breaking the front line until just this moment. All up to Sephoris and the Ranger. Can we get some eliminations? Just like that. There's a little bit. One more shot. Give me some eliminations. Just like that. This is what this is built for. Just like that. There we go, Sephoris. And that's just enough to take Ephraim out of here. GG's. Level 10 acquired. Squiz is here too. And now I can absolutely slow climb this. Hey, Squiz. Hello and welcome. Let me try to shift this up a little bit so that you can find a safe home. Ah, didn't quite get there in time. Axons, actually, I think I'll probably just leave you out for now. Now, this is, of course, Dr. Spoon. What do they have going on here? Of course, they had the Mystic weapon, the 3 Mystics. Oh, this could be troublesome. Could be a very scary squad to have to go up against, it looks like. They don't have any Ador, though, it looks like. So, might not be in as bad shape as I thought. We lost that one pretty convincingly, but we also didn't have our team anywhere near as set up as they should have been. So let's get this changed up a little bit. The Alliance will eventually become a granite, so we'll keep you there. That's fine. I kept forgetting about this damn augment. I meant to try and change to a yellow augment. Okay, we're gonna crush through these. Any Omega Power? We do get Omega Power. I like this. Omega Power per second. Onto Sinalf. Support Augment. Omega Power, Energy, and Shield. If I do something like this, give that to you. Switch this onto my Squiz. Go here. Let's start rolling a little bit, because we can. Okay, there's Goliath. Let's switch some of these over. And we get ourselves another Invoker. That is going to be Sinalf now on the board. Up against G-Hamster. Oh, that's why there's no Ador there for Dr. Spoon. G-Hamster has that, or Theodorius. That makes sense. We're gonna absolutely get crushed here. Now I'm probably within kill shot, so it's time to move. Building a lot of things right now. There's Mammoth. Okay, there is a Fisto. Percent health can't hurt. Dualef. There you are. Corner composition. Sephoris, give it over to Dualef. Alright. The best we could get it. Let's see how this goes. We got a lot of damage now. 4 Invoker is back. Dualef, a good shot. It's going right through the forest. Big damage coming on through. And this time, compared to the last game, we do actually have a tank line. Oh, Fisto making it rain. And for the first time, I don't get to say this one very often, but we actually beat Dr. Spoon in this battle. Let's pick up that Scarabok that was there. This is basically the final upgrade I think I could take, but at the same time, Dr. Spoon, I mean, that's Exodia, right? If you get Ador, it's over. No, I need to scoop these. If you get 4 Mystic, that's Exodia, I'm dead. So we need to absolutely scoop those up. I'll take that over a Titanor. The only thing I'm kind of unsure about right now is where my Restorating Impact Reactor is at. Maybe I should have that onto something different as of this moment. Of course, big shots coming up there from the Blazonite, but we do have the 5 Scions, so we aren't getting interrupted by the tornadoes anymore. Bring the lightning down. Come on, we lost our tank line, though. Line them up! Why don't you do a left? There we go! Scoriox is here now. Lock that. I mean, shit, they have to also worry about Jotun. I also have to worry about Phosphorus even. Do they have anything left in the tank? They're broke. They're broke. There we go. This won't kill. Restorating Impact Reactor. I'm gonna put it on Mammoth. They got Phosphorus. This is not done yet. I want to try and keep Mammoth in the fight a little bit longer. If it could somehow give me a few extra swings, that could be huge. Can you hold the line versus this Phosphorus? Yes, you yeeted it away! Get the bear out of there. Oh, it's not going to line up, though, this time. Not this time. Oh, but we're not dead yet. Alright, we got a chance to breathe here. Thank you, Kirito. Let's see. So spreading things out a little bit, of course, to deal with Phosphorus would absolutely make sense. I'm not sure if moving that Restorating Impact Reactor made the difference that I was hoping for. Strike. Horde augments. Usually do something like that. Some additional. Where's the power coming from, essentially? Okay. One final push. Can we? Oh, no! Oh, man. It's right there. That was close, but let's see. If we're lucky, maybe this works. They've done a good job of spreading themselves out here, and I think that is probably going to be the deal breaker. That will be it. GG's. GG. Yeah, so the idea there, my mindset for the last little bit, because Spoon was running with 3 Mystics already, and then they had a pool of cash or a pool of credits still available. let's see. Let me get to the page here. So we look at just some of the experience that these alluvials got. God dang. Again, just absolutely loving the new experience gain across the board here for all these alluvials. But yeah, so G Hamster had the Adorius, right? And Dr. Spoon was saving up. They had like 50 credits or so, and the one Ador on the field. So I figured they get 4 Mystic. Without question, I am dead because I would never be able to truly breach their damage reduction and shielding. So I scooped up all of the Adors to make sure that they could not find it, to the point where they rolled down and they were broke. Granted, they did find a lot of upgrades still. I couldn't cover everything. They found the Scoriox, they found the Jotun, they found the Phosphorus, especially the Phosphorus was absolutely deadly. And then the idea there was, okay, no matter what, this is the last round. If I die, I can't add any more alluvials. I couldn't add the Ador that I had onto the field unless I maybe replaced Archos. If I maybe swapped out Archos instead and started rolling for Adorius instead, maybe that's one way I could have gotten out of that. Maybe. But also props to Dr. Spoon there as well, because they did a very good job of spreading things out. So my Dual F was not anywhere near as effective. But that was just an absolute incredible game. And it's games like those that I remember why I love this so much. Like, my goodness. As much as it kills me to see that the Titanor is literally right there and I was 1 credit off from getting it. I'm still not 100% sure if getting Titanor would have actually changed things either. But it was a good try. We will end the day here at 2484 rating, which currently has me in 14th in the world. So I tell you what, that was a fun day back. That was a fun day all around. Big thank you to everybody who tuned in. Big thank you to everybody who played against me here today. Good games. It was a very, very fun time, exciting time. I'm still shaking, man. My goodness. It was a very, very good time. But that is not going to be it for me this week. Of course, we will be back tomorrow, actually, with This Week in Illuvium, my little news show of sorts. We'll go over the community highlights and the meta around the arena. What alluvials? What were your top sales for alluvials over the last 7 days? What are the entry-level prices to, say, the Illuvium Zero? And that is very true, Fox, actually. We achieved the stream goal. The hope was to get top 15. We got it. Barely, but we got it. Yeah, so tomorrow, again, This Week in Illuvium, I'm going to highlight all of the changes, maybe touch on the experience changes one more time, see maybe the top sales in alluvials or land plots, so on and so forth. But at the very, very end of This Week in Illuvium, we're also going to take a look at the Risk to Earn documents. I am, of course, very, very skeptical about Risk to Earn and, like, play to earn kind of styles. And I am also not a fan of gambling. And this does have me in a very, very weird spot where if the Risk to Earn game comes on out and it is like a little bit gambly, I'm still going to want to make content about it, but I am going to have to be so careful because there are certain things that I definitely don't tolerate. So we'll have to see how it goes. We'll take a look at the design document and see if there's anything that that worries me, my thoughts about it, or am I just genuinely excited about it? We'll take a look at that at the very end of This Week in Illuvium tomorrow. Same time as today, though we're going to start at 10 in the morning, my time here, 3 p.m. UTC. Then we'll have Thursday off. We might be doing the download, assuming that it is all going on still. I haven't quite gotten a message about it yet, but that is weekly, so I'd imagine maybe there'll be a show for that as well. Then we'll be back here on my channel on Friday, where it's just overworld yapping. I'm just leveling up my alluvials, maybe trying to find a couple upgrades, and just talking to all y'all while I'm doing it. So It will be a nice chill but fun time as well. I'm looking forward to that. And of course, as I get ready to wrap up here, regardless of which platform you happen to be on, whether it be following on X or Twitch or subscribing on YouTube, would love to have you back again sometime soon. So I'd love it if you can follow or subscribe to make sure you get the notification that I'm going live, so we can hang out again here in Illuvium a little bit more. But with that being said,